doubles and coffee. Recently, I find a CARICOM leader, the current Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves. I find he was a bit undiplomatic, inappropriate, very disrespectful of the current Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as she tries to keep her country safe, uphold her promises to the people to allow them to live in our beautiful Twin Island state with safety and security. A major tenet of that plan is crippling the narco trade, the narco terrorists, the cocaine trade, the drug trade, the gun trade, and the human trafficking trade that has plagued our beloved country of Trinidad and Tobago, making blood flow in the streets. So Kamla Persad-Bissessar is against drug traffickers, cocaine traffickers, gun smugglers, and human traffickers. But the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, with a sort of fervor that baffled me, was disrespectful and attacked Kamla Persad-Bissessar, calling her misguided and stating that CARICOM needed leaders that are statesman-like and woman-like, stateswoman-like. I wondered where this passion and this disrespectful attitude came from with Ralph Gonsalves. Listening to him as he addressed some UE forum and other places, I saw him maybe sounding like Keith Rowley or the PNM. And I wondered, why would this man be beholden to the PNM? Why would he be talking with venom against the United National Congress leader and Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Persad-Bissessar? His statements were inappropriate, undiplomatic, disrespectful, and partisan to the politics of another sovereign nation, which he had no part to play. But he sung like a piano. But you know, the Dogra will always go and research and find things. Well, Ralph Gonsalves, you see, when you jump in people think, you have to declare any and all interests. Ralph Gonsalves, before you jump in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago to try to lecture the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar on anything that doesn't involve you, she is duly elected in Trinidad and Tobago to forge the foreign policy, the security policy, and any policy in Trinidad and Tobago, to set up the cabinet, run the government. How you jump in, Ralph Gonsalves? And why you jump in like a PNM so? Did you declare any interest? Did you receive any benefit from the PNM? Any benefit whatsoever that may have people in Trinidad and Tobago scratching their bald head like me? Ralph Gonsalves, I ask you, are you married, Ralph Gonsalves? How long have you been married? Do you have 2 children, Ralph Gonsalves? Are your children's names Sole Gonsalves and Storm Gonsalves? Is your wife's name Eloise Gonsalves? I ask this because Honorable Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, did you disclose to Trinidad and Tobago, to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and to the people of St. Vincent and CARICOM, that when you are speaking, you have received, your family has received great benefit from the PNM? And to the members of the PNM, to Keith Rowley, and to the former ministers of housing, and those hired by the PNM to conduct housing policy in Trinidad and Tobago, where after 9.5 years, a paltry 4,775 houses were built. the list of applicants waiting and begging for housing in Trinidad and Tobago now stands at 214,000 citizens. To the PNM, to ROWLEY, and to Ralph Gonsalves. Are these documents that I hold in my hand belonging to the family of Ralph Gonsalves? This letter to Storm Gonsalves, dated the 21st of August 2018, from the HDC, the Housing Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, saying, letter of offer of sale of property at Victoria Keys, Unit 1E, Tower 2, Unit Type, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. This document for Storm Gonsalves of an HDC house in Trinidad and Tobago at Victoria Keys, signed by former HDC Director in 2018, Brent Lyons. Ralph Gonsalves, is that your son? He stated here that he is an an app development company, and he's a businessman and so on, and that he makes $25,000 exactly per month. You know that the policy in Trinidad and Tobago at the HDC is if you make 25,001 cents, you do not qualify to apply for HDC housing. This here also is another HDC house to an Eloise Gonsalves, a housing development corporation house built with taxpayers' money of the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Ralph Gonsalves, is Eloise Gonsalves your wife? Is she in receipt of an HDC house from the PNM? Mr. Ralph Gonsalves, is Soleil Gonsalves your daughter? Is she also in receipt of an HDC house from the PNM, paid for per month by you, Ralph Gonsalves? And in these documents, Ralph Gonsalves, I'm not going to ask you some questions because it's all here. Ralph Gonsalves, your entire family getting house in Trinidad and Tobago from the PNM, your wife, your son, and your daughter, $1.9 million for one, $1.96 million for one, another one for $1.625 million, and another one for $1.3 million, totaling $4.885 million of Trinidad and Tobago taxpayers' value. But it's greater value than that, because these houses are subsidized. So the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the taxpayers, paid extra for those houses that you and your family were so lucky to get under the PNM. You see, you should have stayed out of we business, we domestic affairs, because now you have a lot of explaining to do, Mr. Ralph Gonsalves. Because the benefit derived to you just on the value of those three properties is 1.25 million TT dollars in savings. Do you have something akin to the Integrity in Public Life Act forms in St. Vincent? Did you declare these three assets given to you, gifted to you? You luckily, your family so lucky, luckier than Trinbagonians. 3 out of 3, 100% you batting at Ralph Gonsalves. Now I can understand why you talk like a PNM, Ralph Gonsalves. Well, let me ask you some questions. Since you like to talk, you say politics is not about entertainment. It's very serious business, and you need serious leaders to run a country, and it mustn't be about entertainment. Well, don't entertain yourself. Entertain these questions here, Ralph Gonsalves. Is your wife named Eloise? Do you have 2 children, Storm Gonsalves and Soleil Gonsalves? Did any of your family your wife, your daughter, and your son apply in Trinidad and Tobago to the HDC for purchase and or rental of HDC houses? If so, when and where? Who in the PNM government advised you to apply for HDC housing for your family members? Or does the HDC under the PNM advertise in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? And if so, how many other citizens in St. Vincent and the Grenadines applied for housing in Trinidad and Tobago and got through, and applied, 3 people applied from one family and get 3 houses? Please answer. Did any of your family members receive selection to purchase and or rent or lease HDC properties? If so, who and when was this granted? Is your wife an owner of any other property in Trinidad and Tobago? Who owns the house at Silver Oaks in Pity Valley? Because if any of your family own any house in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent, or any other sovereign nation, they do not qualify for subsidized housing under the policy of the HDC and the Ministry of Housing in Trinidad and Tobago. So please answer these questions. Are any of your family or your wife, does he own any other property on her own or with you, Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, who is attacking Kamla Prasad Bisesa and saying she's not stateswoman-like and she's misguided? Are you misguided? Did you disclose all of this? What is your son's monthly income at his tech company? Does he earn over $25,000 per month? Because if he does, he put on this form $25,000 and signed it. Signing a false declaration in Trinidad and Tobago, Ralph Gonsalves, is criminal. So please answer. What is the revenue or the earnings of your son per month in TT dollars? If so, are you aware, right? Did it bother you or your conscience, Ralph Gonsalves, at any point in time that your wife, your son, and your daughter receive preferential treatment in Trinidad and Tobago, and each receive an HDC while citizens in TNT are suffering, clamoring in a housing crisis? On your Integrity in Public Life Act forms or the similar version in St. Vincent, for a public figure, did you declare these houses as assets? Did you declare your wife's assets? Did you declare a bank account that your wife has with over 486,000 US in it in the Bahamas? Did you declare that on your Integrity in Public Life Act forms in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? And furthermore, if your wife is so wealthy, how does she qualify for subsidized housing in Trinidad and Tobago? And does she own any other properties anywhere else in the world? Are you aware? What mechanism do you use to pay your monthly rental, lease, or payment for your daughter Soleil at HDC? Are these 3 properties declared on your Integrity in Public Life Act forms? Are you aware that ownership of other properties and land disqualifies one from being able to qualify for an HDC house in Trinidad and Tobago? And I ask again, does your wife own any other property in St. Vincent, in Trinidad, or anywhere else? Who is the owner of the property that your wife used to reside in Silver Oaks? Does that property belong to you, your family, your wife? Do you believe, the Honorable Prime Minister, that it is right for a Prime Minister to receive such favors from a political party in Trinidad and Tobago, then to simultaneously talk out against the other party who defeated your friend and people who you love and gave you benefit? Do you think that is correct without disclosing it? Do you think that is misguided? Or do you think it is unstatesmanlike, Honorable Ralph Gonsalves? Honorable Prime Minister, are you aware that these HDC government properties, constructed houses, are subsidized and that benefits are accrued? Did you declare the benefit that you accrued from one source, being the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the tune of $1.2 million extra? Did you declare that benefit that you received from the PNM? And Honorable Prime Minister, who did you make the request for this housing? Where did you find out about it? Was it made to the Honorable Prime Minister then, Keith Christopher Rowley? If so, when, where, how, and why? Please answer these questions, Mr. Misguided, Ralph Gonsalves. Be statesman-like. Bless.